Okay, welcome. It's April 2nd. It's a Slim Pickens Day here in the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs. And we're going to kick off a new program. We're going to call it Grow and Tell. Diane used to say that tell and sell and sale are not four-letter words. We treat them like they're four-letter words. We absolutely hate them, but they're not four-letter words. So we're going to grow and tell. We're going to kick off a series of Grow and Tell. I'm Karen Lindwall-Bourg, the celebration coach at KarenBourg.com and the president of the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs, where we focus on community, education, networking opportunities, and missions. And you can find us at NACWE.org/join. We put that at the bottom. Each month you will see, or each quarter really, you will see a new album or gallery posted. Thank you for those. There are two Kims, Kim in the room and another Kim who kind of encouraged me to do this way, giving you links and guidelines to how to use our calendar, because everything should be on our calendar and links should be on our calendar if you click on the thing that you're most interested in. How to join NACWE and how to learn more about NACWE benefits, and there are kind of levels of benefits, so you just need to look at that chart. I love check marks and bullet points, and it's all bullet pointed and check marked for you so that you can see what you want and how far you want to go as a NACWE member, or to grow as an entrepreneur. There are just guidelines about posting in our social media pages and on our website and blog. There's a link to show you that every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we do work sessions together, some of us. And those of us who are in there seem to be making quite a bit of progress. It's just a strategic 2.5 hour block of time, a 2-hour time for work, and a 15-minute time at the beginning and a 15-minute time at the end. At the beginning to just introduce ourselves, get ourselves started, talk about what we're going to work on, how we might need prayer. And at the end, to kind of just debrief and say goodbye to everyone. Oftentimes we pray again when other prayer requests have come up. And then here's a link also to our Thursday prayer call and how to call into that. You can come in your PJs because no one can see you. They can only hear your voice. So we hope you'll look at some of those on any of our NACWE Facebook pages. We are in the middle now of our free webinars for community and education. They're held on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're, as she said right here, for the next really couple of months, we're going to do a new Grow and Tell series talking about intentional growth and purposeful telling. So that's what this is all about, Grow and Tell. We want to grow as entrepreneurs, be intentional, purposeful, and adventurous, and tell others about our growing and our business and ministry offers. Remember, tell and sell are not four-letter words. So you may be familiar with our free group. Here's some information on how to find and link to our free group. I should be posting some of these in the chat room, but maybe we can post them under the replay instead. So here's a few save the dates, and then I'm going to pray us in, and we're going to jump in the deep end of the pool. One save the date coming up is July 25th through 28th, where we'll have our second annual Lakeside Writing Retreat. We just had one where 4 people really cranked out some important work. I was able to finish a 15 module, really 17 module if you count, 15 if you count the introduction and conclusion, a 15 module course. Writing it, now I need to pop it up into Everlesson. Somebody else wrote a magazine and a series of blogs ready to post. And then somebody else wrote an 8-week course, 8 modules course. And then the other person did a lot of proofreading and editing for people they were working for. So that was really cool. It's just a great time to get away, rest, relax, get out of our comfort zone, so to speak, and really crank out some work. We'll have another writing retreat in November, the first part of November, and I think we'll focus on planning out our 2020. Can you believe it, 2020? During that one, we'll have a choice. People can really work through a planning program, or they can sit back in another room and write while we're working through the planning program. Either way. And then the biggie is our September 20th through 21st annual NACWE conference. We're going to call it Dipped in Chocolate Entrepreneurship. And we hope you'll be here in McKinney, Texas. We'll post the links to sign up to these in the comments somewhere, and then we'll post the link to the conference, which isn't quite ready yet. I didn't really want to put it up there until we finish a few more things for you. So let me pray us in. Thank you for being here, Dahlia and Kim, for your support. Father God, we're grateful. I'm grateful for NACWE because these people have become my family, extended family. They're my go-to peeps when I need help or encouragement or inspiration, really. Thank you for Kim and Dahlia for the other programs that we're all in together and the progress we're seeing each other make. Lord, I pray just a hedge of protection around NACWE, around these women and women who will pop in later, women who will listen to the replay later. We need your protection. We live in difficult times, and there are health scares and financial issues, and we want to grow our businesses, and yet we're so distracted by other things of life. So I would just pray protection for all of us, an ability to focus, an ability to just feel your inspiration and your presence, Lord, and really do what you've called us to do in ways that please you. Help us to do that in this short time we have together this afternoon as well. And we ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. So again, we're going to talk about growing and telling. This is supposed to be interactive, and Dahlia, you'll just have to do the best you can. I know she's distracted by being at the workplace during these webinars. So it's a huge thing that you come knowing that you might be distracted by work. I appreciate it. So.
Yeah, I'll try to chime in.
All right. We'll just have a little chat. We may cut it short as well since there aren't very many of us here. I love that Diane used to say sell and sail and tell. Those words are not four-letter words. We need to stop being so afraid of them or think that we're offending people when we tell and sell and sail. So we're kicking this off today. We're going to have, we're going to have several weeks in a row of grow and tell, but the first Tuesday of every month will still be our networking day, where people have a chance to come in and say who they are and what they're doing, where they are, and that sort of thing. So before we, let me just back up a little bit. Before we go into an exercise that I want us to do, let's just talk about growing and telling just for a second. So for the next few months, we're going to propose 2 principles and steps to grow as individuals and as entrepreneurs each week. And we're going to hear from, hopefully, from some new entrepreneurs and from a few people that are probably known to you that are NACWE members as well. Because we all want to grow. We want to reach our potential. We don't even necessarily know exactly what the extent of our potential is, but it's greater than what we think it is. I can guarantee you that. We all want to look to the future with optimism. We want a future filled with hope. We want promises and assurance of success. We want to experience continued fulfillment in our personal lives and in our business and ministry lives. We want to become great at what we're called to do and tap into every possibility that we really can. Do we each have unlimited potential? Absolutely, yes, we do. And John Maxwell said, not reaching your potential is like dying with the music still inside of you. I mean, we can all relate to that. There's that feeling of celebration and just soaring to new heights and fulfillment when we have reached a goal that we've set for ourselves, and there's that feeling of frustration and disappointment when we haven't reached a goal for ourselves. But to reach a potential, whatever each individual's potential is, we've got to grow. And so to grow, I wrote a little thing down here. To reach your potential, you must grow. To grow, you must be highly intentional about it. It requires a right attitude, a positive mindset, understanding our strengths, tapping into our passions, becoming more in touch with our purpose, and developing our skills so that we can be all we can be. And we already kind of touched on the fact that growth is as unique to us as we are unique as individuals. John Maxwell said, to discover your purpose, you need to grow in self-awareness. To become a better human being, you need to grow in character. To advance in your career, you need to grow in your skills. To be a better spouse or parent, you need to grow in relationships. To reach your financial goals, you need to grow in your knowledge about how money works. To enrich your soul, you need to grow spiritually. The specifics of growth change from person to person, but the principles are the same for every person. He also said you can't change your life until you change something you do every day. So it's my fervent desire that when we work through some of these grow and tell processes over the next few months, every time you're here or listen in later, there will be something you can change about what you do every day that propels you into growth and toward that potential. So let's take a moment to just do a couple of exercises and answer these questions. You're going to need, I'm sitting here with no ink pen. You're going to need pen and paper. And just very quickly, I don't even think we need to set timers for these like we normally do. Think of 3 things you do, or even 3 things that you see others that you admire do to intentionally grow as a Christian woman entrepreneur. So go ahead and think of those and we'll share those. Okay, everybody pop in for just a second and list those things for us, if you can.
Did you want us to list them in the chat or just say them out loud?
Let's go ahead and just say them out loud since we haven't even really been using the chat very effectively.
Okay. I put read recommended books, take time for self-care, and set boundaries.
Oh, wow. You just stretched my thinking on those. Dolly, are you able to come in and talk to us?
Yes, I am. Make sure I get my video. Okay. 3 things. Let me look at I'm looking at 2. List 3 things you do or see. I think, one is like continuously following up with people. Like you just can't let them go by the wayside and everything. So follow up with people. Again, I like with the setting the boundaries that Kim had talked about, because you need to set boundaries between work, personal things, and then also just always be willing to learn. Open your mind, just being willing to just absorb everything that you can possibly do. That's what I'm doing. I feel like my head keeps getting bigger and bigger.
I'm gonna explode, right?
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I mean, y'all stretched me. Really, I thought in a different angle. I thought of NACWE and how we focus on community education, networking, and missions. So this is where I went with it. I said, well, show up. I'm showing up as often as I can, with the community and rubbing shoulders with you guys. Attend webinars. I did put read, like Kim said. We're both kind of voracious readers, I think. And for networking, I really put a question mark because NACWE is really my only networking venue. And it made me wonder if maybe I need to stretch it out and maybe go to a networking meeting of some kind. Maybe, I don't know, something to think about. And missions, we do missions and we pay it forward. We try to go on a mission trip to Guatemala, working with Christian women entrepreneurs every year. So the next question is, list 3 things you want to do in the near future. Are there things maybe this list made you think of, or we'll give you a second to think, 3 things you want to do. Let's see. Interestingly, I had something right on the tip of my tongue or right on the tip of my mind, and I've lost it, but I know the Lord will bring it back to me. But I thought, the minute I turned to write, I thought, oh, that would be great. And then I lost it. So what did y'all put for 3 things you want to do in the near future? Oh, I know what it was. Okay, anybody?
I want to meet up with some different people in person, take it offline. So in fact, today I messaged a couple people since I'm not doing my park responsibilities. I'm like, let's get together. So I'm planning to meet some people in person. And I think that's important to get out of the normal schedule and intentionally make that time. You know, we always say, oh, we're so busy and, you know, but we don't do anything about it. Or we say, oh, we should get together. And then we don't actually set a date or anything. So there's a couple that we used to work with a couple of years back, and they decided to buy here in the Valley. And so my husband and I are going to meet them for lunch and check out their new place. And, you know, we met them, I guess it's going on either 4 or 5 years ago. So, I mean, we've managed to stay in touch, but so I just think, you know, getting those personal connections is important. And I'm going to go to 2 different like outdoor things. We're going to the butterfly garden.
Oh, yeah.
So a couple of us are going to go do that together, and I think that'll be fun. And then I'm taking a short trip in May that I'm kind of excited. I'm going to my parents' house.
Oh.
And I'm going to go watch their dog, and they're going to a wedding in Washington State. So I'm kind of anticipating doing those things in the near future.
You're going to take yours, is it Susie?
Yes.
With you? Yeah. She gets along with everybody.
She does. She's so amicable.
Maybe you rub off on her. You're very amicable too. I love that. I really want to see that butterfly garden. I've heard you talk about it. And you guys planted a butterfly garden in your
it's doing well too.
Encampment place. That's so cool. Pictures anytime. We appreciate pictures. So, Talia, what did you come up with?
I came up with, let's see, I'm doing a, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
I'm getting a call.
Go ahead. I put, I want to do more live videos. I think we talked before the call started, Dolly and I, and we kind of included you, Kim, right at the last minute about continuing to do Get Clients Now intensive programs, maybe throughout the year. I love it because they're so individualized. You know, we work kind of the same way, but everybody works on what really takes priority for them at that moment. I think I've seen great success both times I've done this program, even when I feel like I didn't put 100% of my efforts into it. And so I think it's something we might want to continue. And we talked about, you know, having people come in, and once they're in for life. So they could just repeat these Get Clients Now programs over and over 2 or 3 times a year, whenever they wanted to. We just have to make sure they knew when they were going to be. I still put again that I might want to do a network.
She was going to talk to you about that.
Oh, good. Okay. Good. We'll talk to her about that then.
Okay.
And I put again networking and conferences. I already do go to conferences, but maybe I need to choose a little more strategically different. But networking, maybe a networking group. I don't know. And you know, that may not be what I really ought to do, because there's this attitude. I mean, you can see it in me. There's this queasiness about doing it. It may not be. I love the Get Clients Now program because they've enforced again and again that we really ought to do. Hey, Beth, that we really ought to do what we're comfortable with doing. And so, but maybe I should try one. Dahlia, what did you? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Kim.
I think my personal recommendation for you is to follow up with the existing pool of people that you have. You've got a lot of people already that need nurturing and attention, and I think you get a lot of response in just nurturing the relationships
You
you
know
have
what?
and building those.
I think you've hit the nail right on the head, because I am a lot more comfortable doing that. I have a forum. I've wanted to interview everyone, you know, that's been a NACWE member, at least everyone, to see what they're up to. And so I think thank you. Thank you, Coach Kim. Dahlia, do you want to pop in?
Yes. So what I listed for 3 things I want to do in the future, I'm doing a webinar series May 22nd through the 24th. It's an intro to college webinar, and I'm charging $99, for the registration, as well as I am going to Rhode Island in June for Higher Education Consultant Association Professional Development Institute.
Oh my word, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. I don't want to say HECA because you might think I was saying something else, but it's a HECA Professional Development Institute over a couple of days in Providence, Rhode Island. And then in July, I'm going to go to Memphis for the SACAC, which is Southern Association of College Admissions Counseling, and they're doing like it's called Summer Seminar at Rose.
Did you know these things existed when you first started doing what you do?
Not really.
Wow.
Not really, and I'm just trying to learn all I can so I can be successful. That's what I mean by like just trying to, learn, keep learning. And I had talked to like 2 independent education consultants that are here in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, and they are partners, and so they were telling me about it. I saw advertisements for it, but I didn't really take it serious. I was like, okay, well, let me look into it. So that's what I'm doing in the near future.
That's too cool. I love it. So Beth, we'll just let you jump in when you feel comfortable, and let me introduce the tail part. So I'm going to back you up a little bit. So for talking about really for the grow part, you might be interested. Let me back up. For the grow part of this, you may be interested in joining our mastermind. Dahlia is a part of it. I'm trying to think of who else jumped in there, but we have several people who jumped in there. We're going to do one growth mastermind group live and one growth mastermind group virtually. So if you're right in my neighborhood in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we could probably do it face-to-face. And if you're not, we could do this. And I'll share more about that with you at the end of the webinar. But talking about telling, so we're talking about growing and telling. Telling for the next few months, also on the Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, NACWE Community and Education Webinars. Speaking of a mouthful and gobbling it out there, we're going to give you 2 ways to grow as individuals and entrepreneurs, but we're also going to give you 2 ways to tell others about your entrepreneur endeavors and the offers, things that you have to offer. The old hymn, Go Tell It on the Mountain, just keeps running through my mind. When I say grow and tell, I think go and tell. But I love that hymn, and we are supposed to go and tell. Someone has to tell. So think of this. You don't have to answer this question, just rhetorically. How often lately have you told others about something someone you know has to offer? And when you told them, did your suggestion result in a new relationship? I mean, we're all kind of in the Christian women entrepreneur business, which makes us in the networking business. So I'm going to assume you've been able to tell other people about something that someone else has to offer. I actually successfully refer to others often and several times lately, but it's my business. It's what I do, right? So, and usually they do turn out, some of them at least do turn out to be really great and continuing relationships. So another question you don't have to answer, just think through. How often lately has someone else told others about you and what you have to offer as an individual or as an entrepreneur? And did that suggestion result in a new relationship or in increased sales or increased business? pardon, starting to get a cold or something, you have to tell others about you, about your services, your programs, your products. You have to tell in multiple ways and tell often, right? So we're going to get really creative these next few months and come up with, we're going to try to do 100 ways to tell with a little bit of help from my marketing and monetization program. So if you've been in that program, you kind of have heard a few of those. With a little bit of help from the Get Clients Now program that some of us have just waded through, some of us for the second time. And then with a little bit of help from our NACWE member, Tara Jacobson, who did a presentation for us, I think it was last year, on 100 ways to tell. So she's one of the most prolific writers I know concerning telling, and her offering from last year, I'm pretty sure, is in our NACWE member classroom vault, which, shameless plug in a little bit of telling here, still has over 600, I think we're up to about 650 offerings in that NACWE classroom. But you have to be a member, so you should consider joining NACWE. Or at least joining NACWE or joining our mastermind group. So let's talk about telling a little bit, and I'll give you some links for the join things at the end. Take a minute, you need a piece of paper and pencil, and jot down 3 ways someone recently told you about their entrepreneur offer. Now, you don't have to go into great detail about what those were, but where did you hear from them about what you heard about and what you decided to take advantage of, or maybe you didn't take advantage of it but you filed it away for later. So we'll give us our about 30 seconds to work through that. 3 ways someone recently or successfully told you about their entrepreneur offer. I don't know why that was difficult for me, but it was kind of difficult for me. Anybody want to pop in?
I can pop in.
Okay.
So 3 ways someone recently told me about their offer. It was like a Facebook Live. They gave testimonials about how it affected another person's life. And that they did like a really big I want to say shift. Another way was I went to a workshop and they demonstrated how their system, what they do works. And then also I'm trying to think one more. Another way was like referral. Like one of their referrals say you need to work with this person. They changed my life, and you can see it was sincere and authentic instead of fake and just trying to dupe somebody.
Mm-hmm. Kim?
Recently I mentioned that I needed something and I was going to go to the store and go get it. And this woman told me, oh, I have that in my little shop. And I was like, oh, so I didn't even have to leave. But because I spoke out what my need was, someone answered back to me. And I think that's a good example that we all need to listen for those clues when someone's saying that they need something. They may, you never know where your answers are going to come from. So there was an Instagram post recently about a giveaway, and I wouldn't have known otherwise, and it was something I was actually interested in. So what was it? Another successfully told you about their entrepreneur author. Somebody told me something the other day. I can't think of what it was. I didn't need it right then, though. Like you said, you might file it away for later. But at the moment, I was like, I can't do that right now. But put it on the back burner.
Yeah, file it away for later. That's true. Well, I don't know why I struggled with this. I guess because I expected something else. But I put always on Facebook. I mean, I really do. I don't spend hours a day on Facebook. I just can't do that. But the strategic minutes that I've blocked out to interact on Facebook, I always see something that I'm interested in. Word of mouth, but I thought and wrote a little caveat to myself. Every time it's been word of mouth, it's been in a group, in a mastermind group, in a coaching group, in a something. Interestingly, I need to get out more. I put a question mark ads. I actually do look at ads that pop up on Facebook and all of those places and really probably look too hard at them. And I went looking. I mean, I went looking and then found somebody and then they told me what. So an example is that recently I took Courtney and Tim. I don't know if this story is appropriate. We'll put it in here. I took Courtney and Tim from the writing retreat to the airport and had all this time to kill because we got there early. We were trying to avoid Dallas rush hour traffic. The airport is crazy. And at a bookstore where we stopped to kind of get a snack and rest and look at books and buy books, I got on Facebook and saw, I don't even know this woman, the funniest live video I have seen in ages. I was rolling on the floor laughing. People were looking at me in the little snack area. And basically she was doing an experiment live where she said if you take a bag of Cadbury eggs and hold it up to your nose and sniff the bag while you sneak a green olive in your mouth at the same time, you can trick your body into believing that you're actually eating a Cadbury. And I was watching this video and just dying laughing and typed a little note to her and said, I don't know you very well. We've been friends forever. We have tons of friends in common. But why are you doing this? What is the whole reason and the whole purpose behind why are we doing this in the first place? But what happened was it started a conversation between she and I. Somehow I asked a question and she had what I needed and I went right to her. And then, of course, I followed her. That was the last Monday. So for this whole week, even during my son's weekend wedding, big brouhahas, I was watching her and going and seeing, is she going to make another live video? Does she have another thing to offer me that I might need and that sort of thing. I believe we're friends for life now, so you just never know. But I did go looking for it. It came about because I went looking. So Beth, did you jump in early enough to kind of tell us 3 ways someone told you about what they had to offer?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to offer that you ladies haven't already said. I did have, along with personal referrals, like I was saying I needed a haircut a couple of weeks ago, and a friend, she had just gotten this really interesting dye job on her hair, multicolored, and it was really pretty. And I told her, that her hair looked really good. And she not only gave me the referral to the shop where she got it done, but, she was also an example of their work. And of course, I see a lot of Facebook ads, and there's a lot of interesting stuff on Facebook, and it's kind of distracting because there's so many stuff, so many ads, I'm running into a lot of interesting stuff that I may get into or look at more in the future. So I just, unlike a lot of people on Facebook, I know how to actually share things with just myself. There's a little drop down box and you can just only me. So I can actually put in recipes for things. And I don't have to show the whole world what I'm looking at to eat. I'm so tired of looking at all these donuts and things that sweets that ladies post on Facebook. So, I have a lot of stuff filed away for looking in the future. But, the Facebook, I don't get out a lot. And, I don't have a lot of extra income for things. I ended up cutting my own hair. Just what I'm seeing online. And also on YouTube, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, especially news videos, because I don't like to watch the network news, so I have a lot of people I follow on YouTube, and I haven't signed on to the paid for no ads on Facebook.
I haven't either.
So I do see a lot of interesting ads on YouTube.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot about that. And I do know that I can share things with myself on Facebook. I just forgot. I totally forgot. So
well, all these other ladies, I wish they'd learn.
well, yeah. Or do we have to hide things if we're not really interested in seeing? So then the other question is, list 3 ways you have told others about your offer recently. So. Thinking through that, we'll give ourselves just a few seconds. I'm actually answering the other question too, so let me go back. Okay, I don't know, y'all. I feel like I'm shirking my responsibility. All I came up with, I did create Facebook events recently and tell some folks about them. I did do a few Facebook Lives. I have posted some things, and I have talked about what I have to offer in webinars. But I went all the way while I'm doing that to the next question and started answering things I want to do. But I'll get some things I want to do from you. I mean, for example, in this last conversation, I wrote, but get on YouTube more. We're on YouTube, but I don't use YouTube strategically. Personal referrals, ask for them and that sort of thing. So we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. But what did you all come up with for ways you have told others about your offer recently?
Well, my brother-in-law was just here recently, and I talked to him about Plexus, and he ended up buying a 7-day sample of the Slim drink to test it out. So since he left on Wednesday, so it's been a week. So I'm following up with him now to see, if he went home and started it, what he's doing. So I'm waiting for his answer, but he was willing to learn more about it. So we'll see he spent the money to buy the 7 days. So we'll see what happens. And I have another guy who was diagnosed with diabetes a couple months ago. And he says, well, I want to see what my medication's going to do first. So now he's circling back around because he's seeing the continued progress that my husband and I are having using the products because he lives here in the park. So he's circled back around. So I've been talking with him. He hasn't committed yet, but he's asking questions. So that's a good thing. You got to get all their uncertainties, addressed.
Those pictures you posted were very telling. I mean, I love that. I thought that was the gutsy thing to do, but it showed obvious progress. And what a testimony that is. We should do more of that.
Yeah. So, I've just been speaking up. Like I said, we've got to listen, and find those cues when people are saying things, if there's something we have to offer to fill in there. And then in different groups I'm in, I've been volunteering answers. Like if I see there's a question and it's something that I know about or, have a solution to, even if it's not something I sell, but like being a resource to send them to something that they need. So I've been looking for those opportunities.
I love it. I hope I will take the time to sort of type these out for us because they're valuable. This is a lot more information than I thought I would walk away with. I appreciate it. Dahlia, did you want to pop in on that one?
Yes, I can. I recently did a Facebook Live last night to promote my upcoming webinar. I just, just decided to do, the series webinar. So I did that. Also, when I get in front of groups, like some of my organizations I'm a part of, I always talk about a workshop I'm doing. Please refer individuals that you know that need some help. And then I also have other people that have, I guess, vouched on my behalf. So those are a couple ways.
Beth, you want to come in on that one? I think you're just gearing up, so you may not have.
Well, actually, I do. I'm also interested in, diet and nutrition, and it kind of goes along with the whole big thing that I'm doing. But I'm going to be doing it in smaller parts. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm going to be taking a nutrition class, but I don't have the funds for it right now. So I did start a GoFundMe account. It's only, a little over $1,000 that I need, but, I put that on my Facebook, and I have notified, some people. So just knowing that I have a GoFundMe account, that I have a goal, that I'm looking at something, I posted that on Facebook. And also I started a WordPress blog.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a blog before, but I didn't do much with it. I was just not focused enough at the time. So that died, that blog, just went away. So I just recently started another blog, and I'm going to be, posting something at least once a week on something I've read, or, what I'm doing. And I've just got to make sure that I also put that on my Facebook group, and, let people know what I'm doing. But I would like to do some Facebook ads eventually. But one of the most important things that I've done, because I watch, I watch and I listen to people who promote, being successful in business. I've decided to stop waiting until I have everything in place and just start doing my business. I mean, I have to start somewhere, and I'm kind of starting at ground zero, but at least I'm starting.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, don't you wonder how many times somebody has to tell us that before we finally wrap our minds around and do it? I mean, how many times have you heard that? Stop waiting until everything is just all ready and all perfect, and just start doing and being who you really are, and doing what you really were called to do. It's very exciting. Can't wait to see the blog. Maybe you can put the link to the blog when you're ready in the chat room. We can all go find it. That'd be cool.
Okay. If I can figure out how to do that.
Oh.
I don't know how to do that. But I'll put a link on my WordPress blog.
Okay. So the last question, 3 ways you want to. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have I've taken copious notes, as I always do, very nasty, very sloppy. But I've put little stars by so many things. So 3 things you want to do to tell what you have to offer in the near future. Sorry, 3 ways you want to tell. Okay, makes sense. I've put stars by so many things. I want to send out more consistent newsletters, and I've gotten a lot better about it, but I need to tell people. I have a newsletter list that's huge. Kim reminded me of that. You should be following up with the people you already know, and I haven't sent out a newsletter yet to tell them about the Growth Mastermind coming up. I need to make some calls, send some texts to individual people. I put stars by so many things. I forgot about the blog. I mean, you don't have to write a whole huge newsletter. You can just do a blog piece about some of these things, and we do have a really strong blog presence for NACWE. So I've gotten so many ideas from y'all, and I really appreciate it. What about you? 3 ways you want to tell about your offers in the future, maybe that you haven't used or taken advantage of very well yet.
I want to do a few more Facebook Lives. I get a good response to them, and I've just been so busy. Last month was a blur. So I want to get back to doing those at least once a week. I feel like it's, I get a good response, like a good engagement, like people find what I'm saying and, you know, worth tuning in for, and then I get comments on it later. So I want to get back to doing a little bit more of that. And I think it helps people know you better, and you know, it builds that know, like, and trust factor. I've been keeping up with my newsletters and my blogs, so I only committed to every other week because I just couldn't commit to more. So I may do a little more now, but I'm trying to stick with that schedule, and some days it's kind of a struggle, and other days I can breeze right through. So, but I did find something, and I was so shocked when I was trying to do my blog for this week. I went back in and I looked at unpublished, and I had 27 unpublished blogs. Like, I had started an idea, and I'm like, I don't even have to come up with a new idea. I just need to finish, tweak them, do the, you know, my keyword, and publish them. So I was like, oh, I forgot I had these in here.
That's exactly what I thought of when Beth said stop waiting and start doing. I also have some unpublished. You know, I've made a deal that I was going to write a blog a day last week, and I did. But I didn't publish a single one of them. They're just sitting there waiting for refinement and graphics, and, you know, come on, we got to get
the one I just didn't have a graphic. I just did it, and it was a list.
Yeah.
And I have my blog connected to Missing Letter, and Missing Letter will automatically post my campaign for me. I post it to Twitter and Facebook, and all I have to do is accept I just have it set up to, you know, do the one account, and it's fine. It works. So
that's interesting. I hadn't heard about that. Anybody else, Dolly and Beth, y'all want to come in with what you want to tell, how you want to tell?
I want to. I'm getting more comfortable in front of, I guess, the camera. So I want to do more Facebook Lives, and then use the other social media that I have. So like Twitter and Instagram TV. I haven't really used those, but I want to, you know, reach more people. And then of course, you know, in my workshops and stuff, but maybe, you know, do a couple of webinars, like short little teaser webinars and things.
You might have hit something on there with the teaser, whether we call it a webinar or not, but, you know, giving someone just a little bit of what we have to offer, and if they're interested, they'll come through.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Last night I did like tip 1, you know, it was like an 8-minute Facebook Live, you know, video. And then I talked about my upcoming webinar. So I'm just trying to get comfortable pitching and, you know, just speaking on camera.
Beth, you want to pop in on that one?
Mostly, I just need to get consistent about doing anything. But I've never done a YouTube video or any kind of online video. So whether I put it on, well, I've done some Facebook videos of like my dog, you know, but
we love those, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I've got a great dog. But you know, so yeah, do Facebook videos, YouTube videos.
Oh my goodness. So you hit the nail on the head, I think, with just the word consistency, because no matter what we choose to do, that's the key. We need to be doing it consistently. Right.
And I just need to schedule things so that, you know, I overwhelm myself by thinking, well, I need to do this, when if I could just schedule like something on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and, you know, just divide things up so that I don't feel overwhelmed, then I might be more likely to get those things done.
Well, and I'm a need to divide it up person as well. I mean, I see the whole picture. Those in the room who know me really well, Kim for one, will have heard me say 1,000 times, I see the huge picture and it overwhelms me. And I shut down and don't even take sometimes the first step. But if I can, like you said, kind of break it down divide it up into doable portions, I make so much more progress. You guys, this turned out to be a real eye-opening experience for me. I hope it was for you as well. So let me get us closed out before our time goes. Oh my goodness. We are supposed to get you to tell us about you and give us a link to you. So if you want to do that, if you want to put that in the chat room right now, I will, while I pray us out, I'll put it in under the replay. I'll make a commitment to do that for you, since we really didn't we did share about us, but we didn't put links and things.
Now, you have to be a member to go to the chat room, right?
No, the chat room is, so in a Zoom room, if I hover over the bottom of the screen, a long black bar pops up, and it's got a mute button where I can mute my voice, and a stop video button if I want to hide my video. It gives me an opportunity to go into the chat. It says chat. So if you can,
I don't have one that says chat. I've got, invite participants, share. Oh, there's chat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there. Yeah, learn something new every day, right?
Yes.
So Dahlia, is it www. or http:/? So evolvetranscend.com, but is it www. or http? And Kim's kimhawkins.com. Dahlia says, I'm an independent educational consultant that works with college-bound students and parents with the college planning process, such a badly needed service, www.evolvetranscend. And then Beth, if you know what's your website and your blog URL, I can even help you type it in there.
I think I'm going to have to do that another time.
Okay. Find it for us when you're ready. Bring it in any Tuesday that we're here. We are, so I'll do mine later as well. We are, here's our information about our mastermind. I'll just actually take a picture of this screen and put it under the replay, so you don't have to worry about grabbing hold of it now, since we all have, I don't know about you guys, but I have an appointment in 1 minute. So, constantly leading us over the hour. This will get me disciplined when she's waiting in the waiting room of my office. So let me pray us out, and thank you for being here. Gosh, I'm gonna, I think, have this one transcribed, because we made a list, you guys. I'll put you as authors of the blog. We made a list of things that people need to hear about, and I need to be reminded of, so that I'll actually do one of them or some of them and be consistent about it. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for being here. Father God, we're so grateful. I learn something new every time I rub shoulders with a Christian woman entrepreneur. I would just ask a special blessing over Dahlia, over Kim, over Beth, over me, over NACWE, over the endeavors that we've done, and the ways we want to grow, and the ways we want to tell the things we want to do in the future. We can't do them all. So I would just pray, Lord, that you really impressed upon our hearts one thing in the area of growth, maybe one thing in the area of telling other people about our offerings that we can focus on, and that we'd be consistent about it, as Beth reminded us, that we would be diligent about it and intentional and purposeful about it as well. We ask these things in Christ's holy name. Amen. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm going to save the chat room. I can't ever remember if I set it up. God bless you, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.